Okay, another Diablo 4 content and another rogue, of course, and this is Barrage rogue without basic attacks and triple imbue. I wanna record this for my friend Elusive so he can see the build in action. These are map loss, nothing serious, and what we're gonna use is critical strike chance pot, and we're gonna clear it and talk about the build and stats and such, why I use items. This is pretty much easy to play, brainless whirlwind type of build that I really like. After Twisted Blaze trap build I played, very smooth, and I'm dashing a lot with Quickering Fog. I'll explain why later on. I'm playing slow, not too fast. You want to use Cold Imbue versus Elites, Shadow Imbue versus Range, Crowd, Stack Crowd as usual. You have so much, you will have so much damage to crowd control enemies later on, and Frigid Finance passive and such, so Cold Imbue is extremely important. Shadow Imbue is the least important ability you use, I'd say. Wow, what dead lag. I'm glad cold guys didn't pop us there. Barrage has currently bug. If you engage boss and kill it faster, you don't get glyph pop-up. So I'm gonna start the boss with seriously. And you pop the inner side and delete the boss. And let's start with itemization and cooldown reduction, total armor, life, dexterity, all stats, intelligence, crowd control, duration on helm, quicker info, pretty important because you wanna activate cheats, damage reduction from crowd control enemies. You crowd control them with Pantheon Shield, you crowd control them with Cold Imbuement, you crowd control them with Dash Slow, you crowd control them with Daze, you crowd control them with Manglers, Lucky Hit. Keep in mind that your Lucky Hit chance is pretty low on Barrage, so you want to get high rolls on everything that has Lucky Hit. So Armorous, this is pretty good, recently buffed, gives you free Dark Shroud. Total armor, life, damage reduction from close is what you're looking for on generic damage. I want to have at least one item with damage reduction from distance because of these phantom lasers and these huge crossbow undead guys hits very hard, or in Alderwood, etc. Those what is that thing? Thorn beasts, the little squirrels or whatever they took called, hits way too hard. And here you want Barrage rank, crit chance, attack speed, and fourth SWOT is critical strike multiplier with imbued skill, lucky hit chance, lucky hit restore your primary resources, lucky hit slow and such, or stats, anything possible. And for this I want Magners here because I want to activate crowd control more with Daze, and I will have control glyph, so this will add extra safety. It will proc cheats, and it will proc damage to crowd control stuff, damage taken from crowd control stuff pretty easily. And for pants you want everything defensive and imbued skill cooldown reduction. I recently don't have imbued skill cooldown reduction, but chest this pants is pretty solid. And Pantheon, nothing to say. Crowd control duration is really nice. High movement speed would be ideal, but beggars can't be choosers. You take whatever drops. And for crossbow, you want to use crossbow, don't use bows. And you want high item power here because it's your main weapon. These are stat sticks. And you want vulnerable damage, critical strike with imbued skills, dexterity, damage to close, but most important three stats is vuln, crit damage, and critical strike damage with imbued skills. And these imbued skill mechanics, whenever you imbue your Barrage, you get this another crit multiplier from critical strike damage with imbued skills. I recently learned, and this is quite powerful mechanic, to be honest. And here is Edgemaster. You can swap branching volleys and Edgemaster here and there, whatever you want. And Chain of Disobedience. Disobedience must be your amulet, in my honest opinion, because you don't have Poison Trap or other. For example, Poison Trap stacks Disobedience armor stacks pretty easily. You can't do that. You kill stuff faster, you move around faster. Poison doesn't take long enough, it's 5 seconds. If you take enhanced poison imbuement, it takes 6 seconds. So you wanna get Disobedience here instead of this part for amulet to get multiplier. For amulet, you look for two stuff, pretty important: cooldown reduction, and energy cost reduction, because we don't have basic skill. These are two important stats. Rest can be offensive and defensive. I really like movement speed on amulet because you want to blast through nightmare dungeons, but you can get exploit, malice, weapon mastery, the total armor, damage reduction from close, and such. I mean, you got the idea. This is a perfect ring for this build, and this ring was sacred. I made it to ancestral because luckily it was 700 item power. So I made him to upgrade another tier 725 and get the stats, and it's perfect amulet for damage stats, crit damage multiplier, wound multiplier, critical strike with immune skills multiplier, and crit chance. And you wanna have umbral here, at least two. One probably doesn't work, but you want 2, 3, 4 umbral here to play without basic attacks, and you want to use revenues aspect here. And this is again 3 desired stats and another life, so it's quite good for stat rank. Revenues and umbral is pretty much core to play this build, and these are statistics, so anything above 725 item level works. Critical strike damage with imbued skills. Wound is your third 3 stats you're looking for. Fourth stat can be damage to close, core skill, all stats, dex. And same here. Here is Barrage. I couldn't find good Barrage volley stuff yet, but as I said, you can put Barrage volley here and Edge Master here, swap. Probably it boosts your clear speed a bit much. And these are the statistics I use. You want to use sword pretty much because of crit multi. And for the skill tree, let's go top. No basic attacks, barrage, enhanced barrage, and wound. So this is a pretty awesome thing, because without this node you have to use traps and blast trapper to apply wound, or you have to use basic attack. So you wanna take this and still take this and this. In this game there is nothing called range build. You are pretty much melee all the time, and this build shines melee because you wanna make enemies to eat all your ricochets and volleys anyway. And dash, this is pretty important. Since you don't have Ravager's aspect, you don't want to use this, and you want low cooldown on your Discipline Shadow Step, because this is your only unstable source, and you'd never engage with Discipline Shadow Step most of the time, because anything spawns with Cold Enchanted, something petrifies you and terrifies you, fear you away. You want to get out with this, so use your Shadow Step wisely, but you have to use Shadow Step or Dash in this build to get close quarter combat bonus. I'll talk about it later. Weapon Master Max, I try to play with Caltrops. This is exceptionally good damage boost, but this skill is pretty clunky. Even for me, I played so much Gunlancer, Warlord in Lost Ark, I'm very used to back jump instead of forward dash, but this skill is clunky still. And you want to get Dark Shroud and movement speed, and not to consume Shroud stuff, because you get this from Umbrus, and you get these bonuses from Umbrus still. And Exploit Malice Max and Precision Imbuement to boost your crit damage, and this is for energy resources. And Shadow Imbuement, you want 1 point on this. These are not for the damage, these are for to activate generally your critical strike multiplier with imbued skill stats. Of course, higher rolls on this would be a lot better. For example, 3 what is this, 3 imbued skill here, maybe instead of dexterity, shadow imbuement or poison imbuement here. But I'd say this doesn't do much damage. You can take this and this, but I didn't like this because this is not for the damage. Like I said, this is imbues, this is for AoE, this is for generally single target, because you have insane boost from Frigid Finesse. It activates Frigid Finesse and control glyph damage boost, damage to crowd control enemies, damage taken from crowd control enemies, insanely fast and good. I mean, these are not for the damage, this is for AoE, this is for whatever, to proc your critical strike damage with imbued skills stats. As you see, my damage, my crit strike damage, if you add these 350 and 320, and my 3 didn't finish yet. and let's return skill tree. And I'm trying second wind to get more lucky hit chance, because as you see, Barrage lucky hit chance is 16%. What lucky hit chance, higher lucky hit chance means is you get more Umbrals proc, you get more Manglers proc, and what else? What proc you get? I mean, you got the idea. You get more procs, and you also your lucky hit chance activates intervention. So you can completely remove this, put 1 point here and 1 here. I mean, experiment it. I'm experimenting this part of the tree, but this kind of works really well. I'm seeing more Umbrus, Dark Shroud around me. I'm seeing more dazed enemies from Manglers and such. And 1 point Adrenaline Rush, 3 point Haste, and our capstone passive is actually close quarter combat. Precision is really bad. I don't like it. And you don't use combo points. You don't have traps. Victimize is pretty bad right now, sadly. And again, you have exceptional low lucky hit chance actually. But close quarter combats, taking this means you get attack speed bonus for pretty long time, and you get 30% damage multiplier against crowd control enemies. But you need to use Cutthroat skill to activate this. That's why I'm dashing a lot, and that's why I want to lower my dash cooldown. And this is Cutthroat skill. This is Cutthroat skill. You have to use this to activate insane damage boost from close quarter combat. And Paragon 3, and I'm gonna link it this and the planner so you can see. And combat start, exploit here. This is Conic Stratagem board, and this is Eldri bounty board. Infusion here, Ranger here, and this board is Tricks of the Trade, Brawler, and Havoc is so important in this board. Also Focus is pretty good. And your final board is Cheap Shot. You want to take Cheap Shot because you have insane amount of crowd control, and this is extra multiplier. This is gonna be really good. And you want to put Control here, and I'm gonna show you what Control does. Control does increase damage to crowd control enemies, but you deal 10% more damage to shield and 20% more damage to frozen enemies, and you freeze enemies instantly with cold imbuement, elites especially. And you want to you chill enemies with the first attacks in general and Pentient Glyphs. So this is the build. This is not my build. I take the advice and some full skill tree and build concept from Xarock, from Rogue channel in Wudi. Wudi's Rogue channel. This is perfectly fine. I mean, this is you are extremely fast in the map. You have 2 dash mobility, and you have imbuements, pretty low cooldown, and you have pretty easy gameplay, just walking around and stuff. And your specialization is of course inner sight for the resource generation. And I have pretty high armor. As a rogue, you need to get this disobedience and such. And these are my offensive stats, and my defensive stats looking like this: damage reduction from close 50%, damage reduction from distance, damage reduction from poison, damage reduction while injured. I actually like this mod a bit in One Piece, since you can get this from here. Getting from Amulet is pretty good, because I mean you want to play so fast with the rogue, and sometimes you get into pretty bad situations. My old damage reduction is pretty low, but every Dark Shroud stack give me 8% generic damage reduction. This build can't use Aspect of the Might because you don't have basic attacks. So Dark Shroud, keeping high Dark Shroud is pretty important. So I'm actually trying second mid because of that, to boost my lucky hit chance, because that's second mid is additive, not multiplier, not your normal lucky hit chance rolls. So this is the build I recorded for Elusive. I hope he likes it. This is pretty easy to play. I mean, you can play it fairly simple and safe up to 20, 15 high level nightmare sigils above your level. I don't think this is gonna push, for example, the 70s, 80s, but I already did it with Simulate stuff. So this is pretty chill gameplay, chill, shoot, collect loot, and call it a day. And that's it for the video. See you guys.